our son's 1-year anniversary, a couple approached us at his grave and said, "Thank you for donating your son's lungs. It saved our daughter's life." I froze, staring at the strangers. "What are you talking about? We never donated Pierce's organs." The couple looked confused while my husband shook before collecting himself. Aren't you Pierce Wade's parents?" The couple interrupted him. "We are, but Pierce flatlined naturally in his coma. There was no donation," I said. The woman pulled out her phone. "But this email says otherwise." She showed me the screen. "Organ donation authorization. Authorized by Carter Wade coordinating physician, Dr. Rachel Weinstein." My blood went cold. That was my husband's name. And Dr. Weinstein was the medical advocate who pressured us relentlessly about donating Pierce's organs when he was in his coma. "They're lying." My husband grabbed my arm. "That wasn't even our doctor. We're just going to." But the woman wasn't quitting. She pulled out her phone and started Googling. "Look, Memorial Hospital. The hospital both your son and our daughter stayed in. And Dr. Weinstein is..." Her jaw suddenly dropped. "Oh my god, did you know about this?" I got loose from Carter's grip and walked over to her phone. There I saw it. Dr. Weinstein, convicted for organ harvesting, sentenced to 11 years, paid families up to $75,000 to authorize organ donations from comatose patients. The silence was deafening. She kept reading. 14 confirmed cases where Weinstein paid family members to withdraw life support from patients showing signs of recovery. I turned to my husband, who was now pale and shaking. $75,000? You got $75,000? He was silent. "You killed our son for money." The recipient family stood frozen, the woman covering her mouth. "You told me he flatlined while I was getting coffee," I said, voice shaking. "You called me saying Pierce was crashing. By the time I got back from the cafeteria, he was dying. But you pulled the plug while I was gone, didn't you?" My husband couldn't meet my eyes. "You don't understand." "Understand what?" I yelled, tears streaming. "Lila was 4. She wrote a letter to Santa asking for her brother back and sealed it in a tear-stained envelope that all her classmates signed. She slept in his bed for months because it smelled like him. You watched her do that knowing you killed him for money." The recipient father stepped back, his face gray. "Oh god, our daughter killed him. We never would have." I continued. "I lost my job, the one I loved, because I couldn't function. We lost the house because I couldn't work, and you said the medical bills drained everything. But you had $75,000. The truth crushed me. My sister paid our mortgage for 6 months. My mother moved in to help with Lila while I had a breakdown. They emptied their savings while you had blood money to yourself. The boat," I whispered. "You got a brand new boat worth $60,000 2 months after Pierce died. You said it was your rich cousin giving it to you as our anniversary present, but he never gave it. You literally bought it with our son's life." Carter's face was deep red. "Did the therapy we go to at least help?" "The therapy." I cut him off, barely able to stand. "We went to 3 sessions in the first 8 months because we couldn't afford it." He looked down again. "But then you got promoted, and we could afford therapy," I said. "And of course, you're at every single one of these sessions now. You sit there every time while I sob about stepping away for coffee. You hold my hand while the therapist says I needed to forgive myself. You know I don't need forgiveness." "You do. Remember what you said at his funeral?" I asked. Carter went completely pale. "You said we were both there fighting for him until the end. You gave a speech about being there when he needed it most. People called you Father of the Year while I was the mother who stepped away." The couple were breaking down, the mother throwing up. "Doctor, Namari said he was showing improvement," I continued. "Our boy squeezed my hand the day before. The doctor said he would wake up. His grandma was knitting him a sweater for the day he woke up while you were making sure he would never wear it." Carter was trembling. "Lila still draws pictures for him," I said quietly now. "Every week for his grave. She asks if he can see them from heaven. She's 6 now and still asks why God needed her brother more than she did. You destroyed her childhood for $75,000. My parents blame themselves," I added. "They think if they'd driven up that night, been there to support us, maybe Pierce would have fought harder. My dad has chest pains from the guilt. My mother takes anxiety medication. An entire family destroyed. The brightest part of it dead. All because you wanted 1 year's salary." The couple fled to their car while I pulled out Carter's car keys from my pocket. "I'm driving home. You're not coming with me." I pulled my phone out and started dialing. "Please don't call the police," he begged. "I'm not. I'm calling someone who'll do way worse than police ever would." I watched him visibly tremble as I pressed the phone to my ear. "Dad?" Carter's body looked like it took a screenshot. "Yeah, I'm at Pierce's grave, but I'm driving home alone and Carter really needs a ride." My voice stayed deadly calm. "Why?" "He'll just explain himself when you get here." I saw Carter start shaking his head and mouthing please. "You'll be here in 20? Perfect." I sat looking right at him. I hung up and Carter was just shaking. "Your father is an ex-Marine who loved Pierce more than life itself." I cut him off one last time. "He's driving you home. And once we're inside, you're going to tell him exactly what you did." I walked to the car. "My dad has buried men for less than what you did. Good luck." 20 minutes felt like 20 years standing there in the cemetery watching the road until Dad's black truck finally turned through the gates and I could see his white knuckles gripping the steering wheel even from 50 feet away. Carter started backing away from me, but there was nowhere to go except toward the truck that was now pulling up to the curb. And Dad didn't even look at me, just kept his eyes locked on Carter through the windshield like he was tracking a target. Carter's shoulders hunched forward and he walked to the passenger door like a man heading to his execution, while Dad sat there stone-faced and